Worldwide Hippies presents Hippie News and Stuff with Winston Smith and the Worldwide Hippies News Team.
Welcome to Hippie TV News and Stuff for the week of May 7th. Brought to you by WorldwideHippies.com. Commentary, entertainment, and news from all around the globe. WorldwideHippies.com. Media for the people, by the people. I am Winston Smith. Monsanto gets nitroed. Taking stock in Armageddon. What color are our eyes? The doc is in. Instant Karma Files, our asshole of the week, and more. Hippie woman had a family emergency, and Wendy Starr is off trying to get an interview for Keith Olbermann's old job. They both will be back soon. Top story. If you're concerned about how your stock portfolio is going to look after Armageddon, take a preemptive action now. Nuke Pills Corporation is where to invest before the next surge. Last month, for the first time in Nuke Pills Corporation's long history, the supply could not keep up with the demand. We've been in business 13 fucking years and have never seen such a continued level of stockpiling of potassium iodide, stated Tony Jones, president of NukePills.com. Just one order from the U.S. Defense Logistics Agency was for 1,050,000 doses of potassium iodide. The top 4 countries being supplied with the only known substance that could inhibit the effects of low-dose radiation: the United States, China, North Korea, and fucking Iran. It seems that sanctions imposed on Iran do not include potassium iodide pills. The only response from the Defense Department after Worldwide Hippies contacted them to ask about this paradox in sanctions against Iran was, "I'm sorry, sir. Would you please repeat your name and location?" I hung up. Speaking of nitroglycerin, Monsanto tentatively agreed to a $93 million settlement with some residents in Nitro, West Virginia. Nitro is a small town that got its name from manufacturing explosives during World War II. It's also the site of Monsanto's chemical plant that manufactured 2,4,5-T, herbicide that was half of the Agent Orange recipe. Herbicide 2,4,5-T was contaminated with the caustic byproduct dioxin. This settlement may open the floodgates to successfully suing Monsanto for its poison. Well, not really. Corrupt judges and politicians have been able to delay hearings on most cases against Monsanto for more than 30 years, so most suits end up being dismissed for lack of any survivors to testify. A spokesman for Monsanto would only say, "Sorry, sir, could you repeat your name and location?" Now, from his hidden location, a small room in the basement of a Hop and Bop hamburger restaurant in Peoria, Illinois, here's the doc.
What's up, Doc?
Hey, hola hippies, paz en nuestro barrio. Winston, the kind words as always, Bugs, your health. If you were paying attention last Friday, you would have noticed the anniversary had come around again for that bloody day in May of 1970 when the Ohio National Guard members opened fire on a gathering of students at a small, obscure state school in the northern part of the state outside Cleveland, killing 4 and wounding 9 others with random gunfire from more than 100 yards distance from the demonstrators. The guardsmen were never under any direct or imminent threat to justify opening fire, but they did. No one got close enough to them to hurt them. No one was ever punished for or held accountable even for the murders at Kent State that day, though they weren't the only ones that spring. They were probably the most notable. On May 8th, Friday, 1970, just 4 days after the bloody events at Kent State, and with campuses all over the country and aflame, many of them literally, in turmoil for which they were ill-prepared to understand, much less to quell, the University of New Mexico was recaptured for the city and the state from the hippies by a contingent of the New Mexico National Guard. Albuquerque that spring was warm, and the impending end of school and the deadly events of the previous week conspired to raise temperatures to a fever pitch among students. UNM already was an activist campus. Students had occupied both the president's office and the student union building in the previous year sometime. Really occupied them. I mean, took them over, moved in, lived and slept, and whatever else you might imagine them doing therein. Meanwhile, all spring long, the local pro-war, anti-hippie Daily Rag downtown had been fulminating against campus radicals, and they raised the stakes at the end of the week, demanding that the city or the state restore order on the campus. There was a big demonstration against the war scheduled for the 8th in solidarity with the dead kids at Campus State. That day, coincidentally, of course, The governor and the lieutenant governor both managed to absent themselves from the state, leaving in command a little power-mad martinet who was the captain or the head of the state police, 5'5" or so, with a complex about it. He called out the guard. About 11 o'clock in the morning, the guardsmen, most of them from Socorro, not Albuquerque, dismounted from their trucks and fixed their bayonets on the end of their rifles and began advancing down the broad brick causeway from Central Avenue towards the Union in line abreast. We, or VVAW members, had been deployed as marshals, try to maintain a distance between the crowd and the guard, but we got pushed back into the front line of the crowd by the menacing bayonets. Then suddenly out of the corner of your eye there was a flurry of activity, and I saw a kid collapse on the ground and blood was spurting into the air. He'd gotten bayoneted in the upper leg. A femoral artery had been cut. Another guy and I, he was VVAW too, we got a tourniquet on the kid's leg, and then we made a chair carry out of our arms to carry him to the aid tent. They always had them in those days. The kid was going into shock as we got him out of the crush of the demonstration. We encountered few ranks anyway, of Albuquerque's best burgers arrayed behind a fence, watching the hippies getting our asses kicked and cheering the guard. They cursed us and spat at us. The kid had to be hospitalized, but I think suffered no lasting physical injury. I cannot say the same for the psychological consequences of that day, because my esteem for the average American never recovered. But note, hippies, every year on this date, the oligarchs haul out those images from that event to remind us that, yeah, they'll kill you if you piss them off enough, even if you're white. So be careful. I'll see you at the beach. Back to you in Hippie Central, Winston.
Thanks, Doc. I had a really bad burger there back in '73. And don't forget, hippies, to check out Worldwide Hippie's sister page, Unapologetic Women, on Facebook. For the ladies, it's a great place to network, and for the guys, it's a great place to meet real good-looking babes. Now, I know all you hippies out there have for many years wondered, pondered, debated, agonized about, and searched for an answer to the question, what color are her eyes? Or, when confronted with a naked tata, can a man keep eye contact and hold a conversation?
Hi, it's me, Diana from Worldwide Hippies. I'm going to prove a point today to show you that men can talk to women without looking at their breasts. I happen to be very fortunate in the fact that I'm married to a man who believes in equality. So because of that, I'm going to prove a point today and attempt to talk to my husband topless. So if you'll just give me a minute, let me get my shirt off. Okay, there's the shirt. Yep, Worldwide Hippies. And now, here comes the bra. Ta-da! Hi, honey.
Hi. Oh, hi, honey. What's going on? No, it's not my birthday, right?
No, it's not your birthday, dear. I'm here to prove a point to show people that men can actually have an intelligent conversation with women without looking at their breasts.
Oh, okay.
And because you're a man that believes in equal rights, we're going to prove a point.
Sure.
Could you please tell me how you feel about equal rights in women?
Well, I think it's amazing to me that women have had the right to vote for less than 100 years. We haven't passed an Equal Rights Amendment. It's only been since recently that we've had an Equal Pay Act passed by Congress, and you know, I think we've come a long way, but we have a long way still to go in that regard. So I feel like it's getting warm in here. You feel like it's warm in here?
No, honey, it's not warm in here. It's only 47 degrees. So do you think that a man can actually have an intelligent conversation with a woman without staring at her breasts?
Oh yeah, sure. I think a man, an intelligent man. What was the question? I'm sorry. I seem to have lost my train.
Can a man have an intelligent conversation with a woman?
Yeah.
Without looking at her breasts?
Definitely. I don't see a problem with that. And oh, hold on a second.
What are you doing? Mitch, what are you doing?
We have a piece of lint.
There's no lint, Mitch. Sit back. Come on, stay focused.
Okay.
So where do you think our problems lie with equality for men and women?
Equality is an important issue, and oh hell, a motorboat.
My God.
Thanks, Diana. By the way, the new iPhones have cameras on both sides. I'm just saying. Anyway, it's time for the Instant Karma Files.
Instant karma's gonna get you. Gonna knock you right on the head.
Hey, it's official. The U.S. is already experiencing drought in over 50% of the states. I love that one. It doesn't count unless it's official. Oh, I hear it's time for our Asshole of the Week, and this week it goes to Hillary Clinton and Tim Geithner. Remember him? He's Obama's consigliere to the one percenters. He went to China with Secretary of State and body fluid collector Hillary Clinton, a past Asshole of the Week recipient in her own right. Well, Tiny Tim wasn't just checking out Hillary's ass while he was there. They both made sure that human rights were put on the back burner while more corporate deals between multinationals and China were attended to. It went like this. Chen Guangcheng is a blind human rights activist in China. For years he has suffered at the hands of the Chinese government. Prison, torture, constant surveillance, the normal communist way of handling activists. And yes, China is still communist. Anyway, this guy Chen, remember, he's fucking blind, he escaped from his house arrest a little over a week ago. Mr. Chen climbed over a 2-meter-high concrete wall built by the government to seal off his house. The house is also totally lit by floodlights and surrounded by armed guards. For some 20 hours, Mr. Chen struggled on his own, navigating 8 lines of defense and falling down more than 200 times before meeting another activist who drove him to Beijing to ask for asylum in the U.S. Embassy. It seems that Mr. Chen Guangcheng must not have gotten the memo. United States embassies are not to be used for any other purposes except bed and breakfasts for multinational corporate heads, CIA spooks, and deposit points for Hillary Clinton's body fluid collection. Through the embassy's ambassador, Mr. Chen Guangcheng was diplomatically asked to get the fuck out. Mr. Chen Guangcheng wanted to stay. He even called into a congressional meeting to say so. Now the exact details aren't known, but what is known is that Mr. Chen Guangcheng is out of the embassy and in a hospital in China. State Department and corporate media say that Mr. Chen Guangcheng makes his own decisions. But Mr. Chen Guangcheng kept repeating that he wanted to leave China with his family on Hillary and Timmy's plane. He fears for his safety and his family's. Well, Timothy Geithner and Hillary human rights are okay, but our pressing on those issues can't interfere with the global economic crisis. Clinton were last seen waving goodbye to human rights and Mr. Chen Guangcheng as their plane lifted off on their way to India. And for that, you, Tim Geithner and Hillary Clinton, are worldwide hippies, assholes of the week. That's it for this edition of Hippie TV News and Stuff. Thanks for watching and sharing. Remember to visit worldwidehippies.com every day for more real news, commentary, and entertainment from citizen journalists around the globe. And support Worldwide Hippies any way that you can so that we can keep up the howl for peace and justice. And you will see us all here next month.